My first guests have a fascinating story. They actually caught my team's eye. They saw them in the Washington Post, the newspaper, and it resonates because these women, all of them, are changing the perception together of single mothers. I was raised by a single mom, and the pressure that you have with that. Holly Harper, Leandra Nichola, and Herrin Hopper were all faced with different pressures in their lives: divorce, loss, financial hardship, while at the same time raising their kids alone. Let's face it, parenting is not easy with two. With one, the pressure is all just on you. You are the backup plan for that family. And this is why Holly and Herrin decided to come together. They bought a home, and they took on that adage, it takes a village. They meant that. It takes a village. Take a look.
I was facing a life of having to be a breadwinner for the first time in my 40s, being a single parent, not knowing exactly where I was going to live. I'd suffered a lot of devastating losses. I lost all hearing in my left ear. I had a cancer scare. When you're at the bottom of the barrel, the only option is to turn to people who love you. One of those people that was the closest to me was my friend Herrin.
Holly and I have known each other for about 6.5 years. I was also going through a separation and divorce. Holly and I are part of a mom's group, and we used to joke about moving in together. So it made all the sense in the world to pool our resources so we could have this great place and build a community.
It's 4 separate apartments, each with their own private living spaces, bathrooms, kitchens, and bedrooms.
I'm the 3rd homeowner. As a single mom, I was really struggling to find some stability for my kids. Living here has touched every part of my life, and I can't think of one thing that isn't better because of it.
By pooling our resources for this house, it really gave us a sense of security. We are more financially able to care for our families and for each other and continue to grow and expand into this world.
Please welcome to the Tam Fam, Holly Harper, Leandra Nichola, and Herrin Hopper. I'm getting the Hopper and the Hoppers together. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Holly, I'll start with you because obviously this is a fascinating journey. Life is never easy alone. Parenting alone is very, very tough. And you were also in this transition in your life, personally and with your health.
Yeah. Yes.
Take me back to the moment where you decide, okay, I need help. I need a village. I can't do this by myself.
I think it happens in many small moments. And so it started with, this one thing that many people do, which is separate. And then it was like another thing that many people do, which is lose a close family member or have a cancer scare. And so as those things started happening, I started pulling into my community and asking for help, like really asking for help from everyone. And then I just needed more and more help. I lost my father, and then right after that, pandemic. And so all of those things, like I just kept asking and asking and asking for help. And as I did, my life got better and better and better. And so I think it's not one big moment.
Right.
It's just a way that you slowly shift your perspective from I have to do this on my own to I can't, and that's okay.
Herrin, you had experienced a divorce. You felt, your words were, you felt lost and untethered. So often as parents, we feel alone. As people, we feel alone. And that's a part of the pressure. No one's around me. I'm my backup plan.
Right.
And you were feeling the weight of that.
Absolutely. I think when the separation happened, and as Holly said, in the pandemic, felt very isolated. And there's no rule book, right? There's no sort of like how-to guide when things in your life don't go the way you expect them to. And so the untethered, it was just, I felt kind of lost and floating, and I really needed to figure out how to find the new direction in my life and how to create that sense of security that I had lost.
Before you found this solution, take me to what that pressure felt like for you. Because for example, when I feel pressure, people may not believe, I stress eat. I have to have a bag of M&Ms. I don't even drink soda. You'll have a 6-pack and I'll be gone. I sugar overload.
Right.
And I'll admit, when I'm under pressure, I shut down.
Yes.
I become very insular. And feel lonely
Yep.
as a result of it. How was the pressure of being a single parent affecting you?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think I totally shut down, and I had the sense that I had to do it alone. Because again, there was, my primary partner in life was no longer the person I could rely on. And so I felt like I had to take everything on. And so the financial pressures of now having to totally support myself, the pressures of really being a parent without the same type of co-parent that I had. And then just navigating the everyday. And so I think I almost became smaller, right? I sort of closed in on myself until I figured out, like Holly said, we didn't have to. But it was heavy. I had health issues because of it. It was just the stress was overwhelming.
Right, because the stress affects your health. For
Absolutely.
you, Leandra, you dealt with the pressure. You wanted stability for your children. And that is, again, when you talk about being a single parent, that's the first thing you think about, stability for your child. And you were feeling the pressure of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was just figuring out a way to, sustain life.
Because you can feel pressure can make you feel like you're drowning. You're drowning under the weight of it.
So you're always trying to find the next solution, but none of them would stick. So that was the...
And when you heard of this solution, as I understand, the idea of moving in a group community home, you were not sold on it. Is that right?
Oh, no, I was...
You were sold on it.
I was sold.
From day one.
I was sold, yes. Yeah. I mean, I dreamed of things like this, but...
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I would have been like, how many bathrooms in this house? Is there a clock on the wall? You were...
Yeah, I believe that once I got divorced, I will never share a bathroom with another grown-up, ever, again. And so that was a really big key in finding the property. It's a completely four units. Separated apartment building. And so it was really important to have my privacy, but also have a community,
Herrin, I'll start with you. I don't normally like to ask people about money because I don't like to be asked about my money. But how did it financially help to split this house up this way?
Yeah, it's actually a perfect solution. So we live in the DC area, and it's really almost impossible to have a house that would fit my family on my salary. And so once Holly and I realized that we could pool our resources and have a space that's appropriate for both of our families, we have a huge front porch, we have a big backyard.
So individually, you would not have been able to afford this home.
Correct.
Together, you can.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it solved a lot of our financial worries because if by pooling resources, we can actually it's like more bang for your buck, and we have the community that we wanted.
Between you all, you have 5 kids?
We do.
5, so there's 5 kids, and you have another roommate who couldn't be here.
Correct.
I want to know about the babysitting, because that would be the reason I would move in. I'm like, do you guys help each other with the childcare? Because that's another weight, and that's another big expense. We know that.
Yep.
and dog walking.
Oh, because you have 3 dogs.
Every part of it. I mean, we had the water main leak, and it was like, you call, I'll meet them, you get the first quote. It's just, we're handing it off all the time and then sharing those costs.
And you're not related at all.
No.
None of you are related. And just, because I'm fascinated how it works again, because you're adults, and as you said, Holly, the idea of sharing a bathroom and living with someone, again, it's not like a college dorm.
No.
You're all adults here.
We are grown-ups, yeah.
And
I mean, I think what we've learned in the process is, a lot of times when you're married, you start taking your partner for granted. You have a legal contract that says you have to stay together. And when you're in a family, it's like blood is thicker than water. You have to take care of your family, your blood relations. We've entered this on purpose. And so in that, we have to maintain it constantly on purpose with intention, which makes it really strong.
Do you feel pressure to be friends, though? Because we talk about pressure. I know you are friends, but do you feel pressure
we are friends. It's different than friendship, though. We are family. And so, you don't have to... We don't have to run to each other for every little thing. We have our own friend circle outside of this.
So you have your own individuality. And
absolutely, but it's a deeper connection.
Let me ask you though: is there a plan to keep this on forever? I mean, because or is there pressure to keep this going forever?
It's interesting. When our story kind of got out there was someone who said, "I don't see this working for the long term." It was just a comment, and I thought that was so fascinating because. One, I feel like everything's kind of impermanent, but because we've chosen this, right? We aligned our values, we purposely created this house. It works for us in a way that, we see the longevity about it.
Why is it called Siren House?
Oh, that's
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And so there's, in the Odyssey, there was the Greek story about these women who were on
Siren.
the rocks, and the sailors would crash. And I do think that single moms get a bad rap in our country and our culture. And so we really wanted to flip that narrative on its head because the sirens created a community. And there was actual sort of a beauty and there was misunderstanding behind it. And so because we are sort of outside the box in this, we are the sirens.
Why do you think, here again in 2022, and I've always talked about my mom being a 19-year-old single mom until she married my stepfather, who became my dad. Why do single moms still get this ridiculous stigma when we know anybody in here, raise your hand, either was raised by a single mom, been a single mom? Why is that?
Well,
why is that still a pressure?
Women still carry all of the mental load and emotional load in a household, right? So I'll talk to men and they'll be like, well, I hope I'm around the house all the time. And I'm like, yeah, but who made that list? Who made the appointment that you're gonna have to get to? And it's us. And so when the family splits, generally one partner is not carrying that load and the other one has to, plus provide for an entirely separate household.
Right.
And, I can speak for Leandra was homeschooling her children at the time of their separation. And that, you can talk about how do you then say, oh, I need a full-time job to pay for my rent and still how am I supposed to do this thing that I committed to? And so we're just expected to have it all when the society is not set up to give us much.
No. Well, you've done a lot with what you've had and help relieve and release the pressure that can weigh on all of us. That's why folks were talking about this article once they saw it in the Washington Post. That's why we wanted you on. Thank you so much and continued success
Thank you.
together.